which, by the way, we got hints today that it's possible. I don't know if it's going to happen, but TJ Watt is pushing to potentially play this week. That could change this game completely if it does happen.
You want Philly food?
Yeah, let's do it.
Looking at your position groups, looking at certain players, sometimes you're like, okay, I didn't expect this from this guy or this group, and I'm excited to see what happens there. Is there a spot on the Pittsburgh Steelers or a player, a position group that you're looking at and you're like, hey, I like where this is going. This might be something to look at in the future. This is surprising us.
Yeah, I'll tell you a player who is surprising us. Terrell Edmonds, the running mate of Minkah Fitzpatrick on the back end. I'll tell you what, Edmonds has been a great player this year. Just playing up in the box, he does so many different things. He's a box safety, he's a linebacker, he's a slot corner, he's a free safety, he's a dime backer. He is doing everything this year. He covers tight ends. He covers running backs. He covers receivers. He had an unreal play where he ranged over from the opposite hash and caught up to Tyreek Hill and broke a pass last week. Should have probably been a pick. He just does so many good things this year. I mean, he has been phenomenal for the Steelers. And I think that's been a big boost for them with that secondary kind of banged up. And the secondary is not great. I mean, they're fine. You know, the corners aren't like elite. They have a bunch of like corner 2, corner 3 guys. They don't have the guy like a Darius Slay. They don't have that. But they do have a lot of just good players. But Terrell Edmonds was considered the weak link. He's pretty much erased tight ends all year. That's been the big thing. Tight ends against the Steelers have just gone AWOL. Like, where are they at? And so I would imagine that Dallas Goedert might see him a little bit this week, which is going to be a fun matchup. The only guy that has really gotten up on Edmonds from a tight end perspective is David Njoku, who is just having an unreal season for Cleveland. But he has been a real find. Other guys you kind of like, Miles Jack up there, you know, former Jaguar, man. He's come in. He's been a really solid signing for them. And in terms of young guys, I'll say this. I think that you have seen kind of the offensive line on the right side grow a little bit. Chuks Okorafor is only 24. James Daniels is only 24. They're on their second contract, so they're not really young by NFL standards because they're in their fifth year. But these guys are both 24 in their fifth year. So young players, but they've really come into their own. So I think you kind of look at some pieces on this team as going in the right direction. Now, I'll say one other guy, Alex Highsmith, who is the guy opposite of TJ Watt. Which, by the way, we got hints today that it's possible. I don't know if it's going to happen, but TJ Watt is pushing to potentially play this week. That could change this game completely if it does happen. But Alex Highsmith has been really good, even without TJ Watt, and that's been a big thing. He's been pretty much the only one actually getting pressure on the defensive line. He's a guy that has a really good spin move. He's really good as a run defender, grown there, super intelligent football player. He's a guy that just makes you feel him throughout the game. And so I'm very interested to see what he can do in this one because he's facing two really good tackles. They'll move him around. But it seems like even when he goes up against good tackles, last week facing Teron Armstead still got 5 pressures on Tua. So he has been able to put up production even against good tackles. So I'm very interested to kind of see what Alex Highsmith can do too.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because that's definitely something that we've been kind of, I don't want to say struggling against. I mean, when you're 6-0, it's hard to say you're struggling. I was just kidding. But no, it has been something that we've seen a lot. A lot of people in Jalen Hurts' face. And obviously, you know, him being able to run around, it kind of negates some of that. But hopefully it's going to catch up to you at some point. So we got to get better at it. Hopefully we figure something in this bye week. But we got the Steelers versus the Eagles this Sunday. Only once every 4 years. This is our, like, you know what I'm saying? So, Dick, I'll call you in 4 years, I guess, after this.
Eagles fans everywhere. This is for you.
Fly